guys, welcome back to Let's Play Football Manager 2016, and yes, this is a brand new save. We're carrying on from the AC Milan save. We're now into the year 2020 with Liverpool. Yes, so if you are brand new to the channel or if you've never seen our AC Milan videos, I do know that part 1 generally gets perhaps a few more clicks than the regular videos, part 2, 3, 4 and so on. So just to give you a bit of context, yes, we're in 2020. This is not 2015. I'm not taking over from Klopp. I'm in fact taking over from Carlo Ancelotti, who has just won the Europa League with Liverpool. And the squad is looking very different. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up right now at the start that this is not beginning from 2015. This is, as I say, in 2020. Also, I make a reference. I just want to get this one out very quickly. I make a reference to a potential new save on the channel coming soon, possibly. I discussed the idea of playing as AFC Liverpool in the North West Counties League, I believe, which is tier 9 of the sort of football pyramid, and I've tried to play it this weekend, and let me tell you now, the editor data for the team is not very good. They don't have many of the real players, the finances are all over the place, they're not even registered as fan-owned on the editor data, the sort of expanded data database that you can download for from passion4fm.com. Yeah, as I say, they're not very good, but I think I might be able to change them in the editor. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at it myself. So if anyone is good with the Football Manager editor and would like to help me out with this, just leave a comment. As well, if you want to see the potential AFC Liverpool save, again, please leave a comment that you'd like to see it. But as I say, it is at the moment a bit 50-50 on whether it can go ahead due to technical limitations due to the editor data. Anyway, I'm going to pass it myself over now to myself and from the past, if that makes any sense. And we're going to go right into this Liverpool save and let's see the state of play. So thank you for listening. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Football Manager 2016. And yes, we're back. Oh, we are back indeed at Liverpool. It's been a while. I think it certainly has been a while. I think since 2013. Football Manager was the last time we played as Liverpool, and I think that was probably my best series. Out of everything I've done so far, that has been the best thing I've done, and it's shaping up really to be a very similar sort of story to that FM13 series. We started off relatively successful and then moved to Liverpool. However, this team is actually nowhere near as good as the team I inherited in 2013. And I'll show you that in a moment. So what happened? So I left Milan, and because there was an international tournament, Euro 2020, late on in the summer there was a lot of managerial movement. So we sort of, as you can imagine, a lot of international management changed hands. I will show you very briefly how and what happened. So these are the landmarks. So Carlo Ancelotti resigned from the role. He is now Portuguese manager. Still only 61 in 2020. He's got plenty of time. That's what happened there. In fact, we'll show you now as well, Portugal, what happened there. It's sort of like a managerial merry-go-round. So George Jesus then retired from management. So that's sort of what happened there. And there's been all sorts of movement. I was approached by about 6 different countries, and I just rejected them all. I'm not doing international management yet. I don't think I ever will do, to be honest. But that's essentially what happened. I also had offers from Dortmund and Leverkusen. Leverkusen in particular had a very interesting looking team, but when this came up I simply couldn't say no. It was almost like a fate, as if they actually came up, because I was not expecting Ancelotti to leave, but he had, and here we are. Now, as I say, this team is nowhere near as good as the team I inherited on FM13, mainly because there is no real star in it, or there is, but look, there's no Barry Wallace, okay, if you remember him, very good. But I'll show you the team then. This is it, and it's a bit weird, because what we're into now is into this part of the game where it plays tricks on you a bit, tricks of the mind, because we're in 2020. There are certain players here that you know, but they're a lot older. And you instinctively go, oh, there's Coutinho, there's Firmino, there's Sturridge, there's Henderson, there's Sacco, there's Javi Martinez, there's Alex Song, there's Kondogbia, Gomez. All these players, they're a lot older, some perhaps going past their peak, and I think we're approaching that part of the game, and some might say we're already in it already. that, where the game just essentially plays tricks on you in your mind because the players don't play as well as you think they should, but it's because they're a lot older. I kind of explain that a bit weirdly, but I'm sure you get what I mean. Anyway, going through the players now. There is only one regen. I'll just point him out now because the rest are in fact real players. The regen here down here is a 20-year-old James Tizard. Where's he from? In fact, he's from Winsford. He's not even a Scouser. Rubbish. But he's very good. He's a wonder kid, as you can see. He's got 2.5-star current ability. Could potentially go all the way up to 4.5-star. I think he's a target man. How tall is he? I always forget the profiles things. Where is it? I've lost it. Anyway, apparently he's a target man. I know he's an advanced forward. Whatever. Yeah, 1.86 metres. I don't know how tall that is. Anyway, that apparently is what he's good at. But the rest are real players. So, no Simon Mignolet, no Adam Bogdan, no Fulton, no Danny Ward, nothing like that. These are the two goalkeepers. So the number one is Rui Patricio, the current Sporting goalkeeper. You may also notice that Liverpool have spent an awful lot of money. It is essentially a classic Liverpool team, this. So it's completely up to scratch in that regard. It is, lots and lots and lots of talent, lots of potential, but underachievement. I'll go over how the team has done, things they've won, managerial history, everything in a moment. I just want to introduce you to the team, get this out the way because there's a lot of players here. So Rui Patricio spent £27.5 million on him and he's solid number one. Number two is Mirko Pigliacelli. I think is how you say it. He's been absolutely all over the place. Serie A, Serie B. They paid £1 million for him. It's fair enough, fair enough backup. And then we have Kyle Walker-Peters, who is our right back. He's currently a Tottenham player by the looks of things. They paid £12 million for him, which is weird. But he looks decent. He looks okay. There's a lot of decent here, not a lot of great. So I'm kind of intrigued how this is going to go. As you can see, the last 5 games, some of these are absolutely disgraceful. Hopefully that will change with the new management. And an interesting one is Callum Chambers, still only 25 at this stage. They paid £22.5 million for him from Arsenal. He's a player who always seems to move. I don't know what it is. Every time I book this game up, within a year or two, he's gone. Last time on FM15, he was a Man United legend by the end of it all. So yeah, that's a weird one. Joe Gomez is still here, has not progressed as well as he perhaps should. He's only 2-star. He's susceptible to injuries, but we knew that already, which is a bit of a shame. Mamadou Sakho, vice captain, 30 years old now. Well, I love Sakho. I absolutely love him. I think he's fantastic. Now, Eduardo Goldeniga, I'm going to have to be very careful how I pronounce his name. They signed him for £14 million from Lazio. He actually looks like he's one of the better players in this team. New signing, Jonathan Tah. Now, I just want to point out, any and all new signings were made by Ancelotti before I came in. This has nothing to do with me. Tah came in from the Bundesliga in Leverkusen, £22 million. It made his debut in just the one competitive game I've had so far, which is the Super Cup. That should give you an indication of that they've won something. We'll get to that in a moment. Nathaniel Chalobah signed from Chelsea, I believe, or from Palace, in fact, for just under £16 million, and he had a shocker of a season. He didn't even score last year. I can only assume he was being played at centre back. We have Akraf Lazar, or Akraf, I'd assume how you say that, from Morocco here, signed for £11 million from Palermo. Look at the amount of money being spent, it's unbelievable. We have Javi Martinez. This was Carlo Ancelotti's final act as the manager of Liverpool to sign Javi Martinez, you can see here, from Bayern Munich for £10 million. We now have Alex Song, yes, indeed, a player who I've heard a lot of people say should sign for Liverpool. He's the type of player we need, weirdly. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, considering how poor he has been sometimes, but he's played for Barcelona. I think people aren't too far off when they say this. Who did he sign for? Not even £1 million. Probably one of the fewer shrewd signings we've had. Ryan Cristante, wearing the classic number 7 shirt here, 25-year-old midfielder from Benfica, £15 million. Now you'll know this guy, Jeffrey Kondogbia, signed for an astonishing £38.5 million from Inter Milan. He had a good season last year. I'm intrigued to see how he'll do this time around. Now Jordan Henderson, still the captain, still here, 30 years old. Terrifyingly underrated by non-LFC fans, in my opinion, but I think a lot of people also disagree with that, but whatever, your opinion's your own. Miralem Pjanic, yes, this is indeed the Pjanic, signed for a frankly ridiculous £39.5 million from Roma. I mean, considering they signed a 28-year-old, I think it's 27, 28-year-old, for £39.5 million, it just shows you how reckless things were getting here and how desperate they were for success. And you'll see why in a moment. Now, we've also got Kenneth Paul here, one of the younger players, signed for £3.5 million from PSV. He's been out on loan. He played there a little bit last year, but didn't seem to do very well. We have Vaclav Cherny as well, 22 years old, 39 appearances. He's only 22 years old. So he was signed from Ajax, I guess. And again, he's been out all over the place on loan, played a little bit last year, really didn't get much of a chance, though he scored 3 goals, so fair play to him. He's wearing the number 9 shirt. See how he gets on. Now, Coutinho, one of the better players in the game, never mind in the squad. Him and Firmino are easily the standout players, and you can see why. He's been here for ages, and as you can see, consistently fantastic performances. The game really does love Coutinho. Equally, Roberto Firmino, who, as of recording this, scored an absolutely audaciously wonderful goal against Arsenal last night in the 3-3 draw. We paid £30 million for him this year in real life, but again, he's been absolutely fantastic, as you can see. Game seems to overrate him a little bit based on his real life stats. Now, Daniel Sturridge, very much an enigma, not scoring goals. I think if that was true in real life, he would be binned off so quickly, considering how injury prone he is. Instantly, here's his injury list. That is, yeah, no, that is far too little injuries. Nowhere near enough. But he's here, and we'll use him. He's also £130,000 a week. As you can see, the finances are just all over the place. Rui Pedro, 22-year-old Portuguese former wonderkid, I guess, signed for £20 million from Inter Milan, but again, just not doing it. I mean, 8 goals, that's average. We've also got Salomon Rondon, a player who I think I might have actually signed for Liverpool back on FM13, or was it FM12? I can't remember. He was really good for me. I think he's probably not as good as he used to be on the older FMs, but still, 17 goals last year. I think anyone would be happy with that. I would not at all expect him to get 17 in real life at West Brom. No chance. We also have Moussa Dembele. That is the young Moussa Dembele, not the midfielder at Tottenham currently. He is a Fulham player, I believe. Yes, I actually saw him play against Liverpool under-18s at the Kirby Academy. He absolutely ripped them apart about 2 years ago. It's quite funny. He just dominated the game, and there's Tizard. Now, in terms of the reserves then, what potential have we got coming through? Well, there is quite a lot of good potential. There's Andy Hillman, Craig Gannon, Dominic Sharples, which is a fantastic name, Christopher Larkin, Ian Short, Nigel Holmes, and Henry Agape. I think that's how you say that. I've got a few other half-decent players. Now, in terms of real life, one of the kids we have only, I believe, Ryan Kent, Joe Gomez, obviously, as you saw in the team, and I think that was it. Yeah, it's just Ryan Kent, who he's still only 23. Bear in mind, it feels like we've been going for ages, but we're not that far into the game, really. We're only 6 years. So, and look how different the team looks. It's just bizarre. So, how have Liverpool been doing? Well, all I'm going to say is, 15-16, finished 5th. Then he finished 8th, 6th, 5th, 5th. They've not moved, essentially. They've been poor. And yes, they are in the Champions League because, believe it or not, last year, Carlo Ancelotti left with a parting gift, which was the Europa League. It might even say here, doesn't it? Yeah, there you go, Liverpool, 2019-20. So perhaps this is something to say. There is something there. Yes, maybe I can win this team, win something with this team. That's what I'm hoping. Anyway, in terms of managers, this is where it gets just perplexingly mad. So Jurgen Klopp left the manager role to go to Arsenal 5 days short of a year. I just want to point out, this game was started about like a week or so after Klopp was brought in real life, so he was treated as like nothing new. He was just, it might as well have been here for 20 years as far as the game concerned. Frank de Boer came in, they sacked him after 200 days, which was just silly. Well, to be fair, he lost more games than he won. So then Inglethorpe came in as caretaker, and then for reasons I just don't understand, David Moyes is so well endowed on this game. I mean, I don't know where he is now. I think he might even be England manager. He's at Hoffenheim. Okay, I was not expecting that. Yeah, he's really good for some reason, but he left and went off, I think, to Man City. Then we had Carlo Ancelotti, who has now gone to Portugal. And really, apart from that one-off Europa League win, they've done absolutely nothing else. Anyway, breathe. So, as you can see, the finances are not in a particularly strong place at the moment. I am going to try and correct this. The transfer budget is not bad considering. It's not bad. But I am going to have to bring this wage budget down. It's absolute, or this current spend, I guess, it is far too much. We need to lose at least half a million, in my opinion. That is, I know that sounds quite extreme, but we could cut that off very, very easily. I mean, if you were to remove, Firmino, admittedly, he is one of the better players in the game at the moment. He's perhaps worth £200,000. Jonathan Tah, this one, he's brand new. Coutinho, fair enough. Henderson is the captain. Javi Martin, these two, it's more and more. In terms of wage bill, and it's not good, especially when you consider how old Javi Martinez is. Sturridge, if he has a poor season, I'm not going to take a chance on him. He's 30 years old. If he doesn't do it by, say the opening 12 games, if he hasn't scored at all, considering he's on a shitty run, hopefully I'll be able to re-energise him or something. But if he just doesn't impress me immediately, then he's gone. He's 30 years old. He's over a hump. Let's get rid of him. Pjanic, Kondogbia, look, they're all over £100,000, but these are good players. But I am going to look to bring in some wonder kids. This is going to be a bit more perhaps of a longer term project because, in fact, I don't have any aims. I don't think I actually have. Yeah, there is no real. The confidence is there. That's alright. Club finances they're already kind of happy with, but I do feel that the finances are a lot easier to control on Football Manager Touch. Which incidentally, if you are wondering what the skin is, it's the FMT skin, which I don't think you can actually get in the regular game. I've already just tinkered with the training. I always say, this is something in my opinion that should just be the case. Always have your focus on fitness unless for a very specific reason, because it's another thing then you just don't have to worry about. Say, especially if you're in Europe or something, and you're playing on a Wednesday night, or if you're in the Championship and you're playing 2 games a week, their fitness is going to get so much better over a shorter period of time, if you know what I mean. So the recovery time will, or the recovery in terms of match sharpness and condition will be quicker. Got there in the end. It will be quick, and as I say, just have it on. It sorts something out that you don't have to worry about. And I usually have the intensity either average or high. Don't go to very high because it will usually result in injuries. Only have it on very high during the early pre-season, generally is what I say. Right, so the UEFA Super Cup, then we lost 2-0 to Bayern. I did just simulate this one because we were going to get our arses kicked because Bayern are frankly unbelievable. They're still managed by Guardiola, which is quite funny, and they still have some fantastic players. There's Neuer, Muller's still there, Alaba's still there. Who else is here actually? It's still got here's a regen. Oh no, he's not regen. Sorry, there is another player with a similar name. Take that one back. Donny van der Beek is a really good wonder kid on the game. They've got Mario Götze still, Jerome Boateng, Lewandowski still there, Carvajal. So I just simulated this one and Kingsley Coman, who is unbelievable. Bruma as well, Zivkovic. So yeah, you can see I just didn't bother. And Conrad Bob. Who was it was a greyed out player, not a real. I know that's its boss, but I couldn't resist. Anyway, I've only been here for about 10 days or so, because as I say, there's so many late. We're going to get into this anyway. As I say, there's so many late sackings at the end of the summer. So this is going to be it then. So we're going to go in. I'm still trying to get an idea of how everyone's playing. I am going to start, however, the young man Tizard. We're also going to play Coutinho instead of Chalobah. This, as I say, I just treated the Super Cup like a pre-season game because, frankly, there was just no point. We were never going to win, and it's a pointless trophy. So I need to get some instruction on. So I'm going to have something relatively similar to what we had at AC Milan. We can, I think, be a bit more aggressive, especially considering we're playing Bournemouth. I'm going to leave it at that for now, and then obviously you can tinker with it at a later stage. This is the formation. Bear in mind, I'm just going to try and find my feet for now, see what works, see what doesn't. By the time we get to the second or third video, I'll probably have a bit more of an established tactical idea of what I'm doing. But for now, I've had hardly any time to play with the team. I'm just going to go with it and see what happens. So this is the team then. We have Rui Patricio in goal, Chambers, Tar, Goldeniga, Lazar, Kondogbia in the sort of the centre defensive midfield role, Henderson and Coutinho, Firmino on the right, Czerny on the left, and Tizard up front. They've got two Wilsons. That's not terribly confusing. James Wilson and Callum Wilson, who is unbelievable, by the way, on this. He's still not been capped for England, despite the fact he's been banging them in pretty much all game. There's Jan in Villa. There's Jorrit Hendricks, who's a good player. There's Marco Brighton, Jonathan Dos Santos, Begovic in goal. So there's still lots on here for Bournemouth. They're a decent team. They've stayed in the Premier League as far as I can see. This could be interesting. So, as I say, bear in mind, I haven't had long with this team. I just want to point out. So, I'm still trying to get to grips with it all. So, if I lose this, bear with me. Now, I've talked about how I've got sort of underlying theme of this FM series in that I want to have to try and win as many major leagues in Europe as I can. And I include, pretty much every league in that. One Serie A, I want to try and win the Premier League. I want to try and win the French League, the Bundesliga, everything. There's Firmino. What a finish that is by Firmino. An assist for young Colin Tizard, for James Tizard. Who's Colin Tizard? Isn't he like a TV presenter? I don't know what happened there, but there he is. He's got an assist. Nice pace to him. Really good. And Firmino, who I would say, is just fantastic on this game. If you've been Liverpool before, which I imagine many of you will have been, then you'll know straight away that this guy just gets better and better and better. And I was able to notice him when I was playing in Europe and never actually played against Liverpool, but I have seen him, in other games and things like that. And, I kept an eye on Liverpool. I wanted to see how they were doing, despite the fact David Moyes was the friggin' manager. But, he's been the standout. And Coutinho as well, who isn't quite doing it at the moment. And it's sort of been, I don't know how to describe it really, just unmoving, I think is the best way to describe Liverpool on this game so far, which is weird considering how amazing they were on FM15 for me. I never went Liverpool on FM15. I nearly did several times, but I stayed at the likes of Newcastle, Villa, Derby. I think I spent like 20 years at Derby. And Liverpool actually kept Brendan Rodgers for that entire time. He never left, which is, I know, sounds absolutely mad. But he was just there, and he just continued on for about 25 years. I couldn't believe it either. Right, what we're going to do, I don't actually know who to bring on here. Can Coutinho play there? Yes, he can. Okay, we're going to have him as an advanced playmaker, and we are going to bring on Pjanic for Czerny. Going to have an attack. Got two advanced playmakers. I know, which is not the wisest thing, especially considering we're away from home. But we are against Bournemouth, and that's nice from Henderson. Still get okay. That was a weak as hell shot, but we're doing quite well. And at the moment, I just want to try and get some points on the board. I just want to get my feet under the table, so to speak, and just see how I can do with this team. Now, I want to just ask a question. And this will be a big thank you to anyone who's who's watched to this far. I'm considering doing an AFC Liverpool save. Whether that will actually go on YouTube or not, I don't know. However, I want to play it. I want to play it as AFC Liverpool. Here's a chance for Tizard, and that's a belter of a finish. Absolutely fantastic. James Tizard, do we have another legend in the making? But yeah, I want to play as AFC Liverpool. Now, if you're not familiar with AFC Liverpool, it's a sort of breakaway team that emerged in 2008 when the club was sold to Tom Hicks and George Gillette, and people were very unhappy with it. They weren't happy that the club was being sold off to essentially a bunch of mercenaries, and obviously they would be completely justified in that because they treated the club like shit, and they felt very disenfranchised completely about football. They were fed up with how football was at the time, and so they decided to make their own sort of breakaway protest type club, but it was still quintessentially Liverpool. They still sing Liverpool songs, they still wear red, they play in Liverpool, they play in fact they're technically my local team. I mean, Liverpool my local team, obviously, but AFC Liverpool play about a quarter of a mile away down the road. Liverpool Anfield is about 6 miles away from me. So technically, AFC Liverpool, they play at Marines Ground. They ground share at the moment due to certain circumstances. And I've always wanted to go to them, but I've always found I've had trouble playing Football Manager at that level, whether it's just trying to find players, whether it's finance issues, just something like that. And would you guys be interested in seeing that? It would be a little while before it would come out, due to the fact that I think I'd rather have a lot of content done for it. I'd want to at least know that it would be a series. I don't want to do what I did with other series, like, you know, the way back when, you know, the 2050 save with like Atletico Madrid and Benfica, you know, them ones, and the Southport save, you know, things like that stopped after like a couple of episodes at most. So I want to be able to tell, but would you guys be interested in seeing that? An AFC Liverpool save? Let me know. Right, so well, that is absolutely fantastic. 9 days and we just smashed Bournemouth 2-0. Now, just to give you a little bit of context into how Bournemouth are, let's have a look here. Bournemouth last year, they finished 8th, finished 12th the year before that, 13th, 17th, good grief, they just held on. Where were they? 15th, and that's it. So they've been a solid mainstay, lower to middle Premier League team, and I think that was pretty good. We went to Bournemouth, potentially tricky away side, and we've kept the clean sheet, and young James Tizard, still, as I say, only 20 years old, has got his first goal. I mean, I look at that and see 16 finishing, though wishful thinking there, and 17 composure. That to me is just like, yes, that's what I want to see from a striker. And when you see Wonder Kid, you just get really excited. So I'm really curious to see how he's going to go. We've got Daniel Sturridge, and who else have we got? We've got Rondon, we've got Czerny, and we've got Dembele. I think that's a reasonably solid. It could improve. I'm fully aware that that could be improved, and this team will continue to improve, hopefully, or be improved in the transfer market. But first, before I start splashing the cash again, like I did with AC Milan, I want to just get everything settled, and I just want to not spend any money, just let the finances sort themselves out, because generally at this level they do sort themselves out, because of the amount of money that you get, you know, from being in the league, from being in the Champions League, TV money, everything. It just sorts itself out as long as you're shrewd. Don't overspend on wages, don't overspend on transfer budget, and yes, I might have to sell 1 or 2 players, just thin the squad out slightly, and that's what I would recommend doing. If you're at this level and you think, oh, then finances aren't looking great, just thin your squad out a little bit. It doesn't even have to be high earners. It can just be, you know, if you sell 2 players to the say earning, 40 grand each, there's 80 grand saved straight away. You know, that's chopped off the wage bill straight away. So just little things, it all adds up. So let's see then. What have we got? What have we got? Some good games. We've got loads of Champions League. I think we'll probably come back when we know the Champions League groups. I think that'll be interesting to see. I swear to God, we're going to get AC Milan. I know we're going to get Milan. It's just going to happen. Right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you are excited for this series. Looking forward to it. And of course, if you enjoyed the video. So I will see you for the next video, most likely tomorrow. And with that, goodbye from me. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.